Hey folks, Rob here again with another Real Deal in the Field with one of my students, Liana, and we're here at her 1:4 townhouse project. Hey Liana, how are you?
I'm good, how are you, Rob?
Good, in Geelong I should have said.
Yeah.
So when did we pick up this project?
So we got it under contract late October with settlement in February, so about 90-day settlement period.
90-day settlement period, so reducing our holding costs and a couple of things like that. Now when you first grabbed the site, your site assessment, what were some of the issues and challenges that you identified right up front?
Yeah, for sure. So one of the issues was we really wanted to put in a second driveway for the existing property because we wanted to keep that existing house. And there's a car park out the front. So there's a painted line marked car park. So we thought there was a potential risk there that we might be able to not get that approved. And the other challenge was around the zoning. So growth zone, we thought potentially council might make us demolish the existing house so that we could put more units on it.
More density, yes.
Yeah.
Which sounds like a really good thing, but there's a lot of intrinsic value in the existing house. So,
there is, yeah.
So you would spend money knocking the house down and then have to spend money rebuilding it again. And it's kind of wasted. So what you've instead chosen to do is keep the existing house and put 3 at the back.
That's right.
And also you've done I guess a creative approach that I guess our members might want to start to think about, which is a stage development. So stage 1, stage 2. So stage 1 was the subdivision carving the existing house off and just creating a block of land at the back. And then stage 2 was then constructing the 3 townhouses. That gave you the flexibility, if you needed to,
that's it,
to sell down the existing house, reduce the peak debt, roll the cash over. But you've been able to not need to sell down because you kept it rented during the whole lot.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so we've got renters in there at the moment. We were very upfront and honest about what we were doing so that there were no issues during the rental period because there's obviously a bit of disruption. We've demolished part of the house, so the garage and shed, put in a new driveway, all while the renters are in there. And they're happy to stay there as long as. So
did you discount their rent to do that?
We did. I guess the rental is fairly cheap at the moment.
Okay.
So yeah, they're getting a pretty good deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's cash flow, reducing your holding costs and all sorts of things like that. So what we're going to do, we're going to pop out the back and actually have a look at, I guess, the rest of the site. So hang on, folks, and we'll give you the other half of the story in 2 secs. So here we are at the back of the property. And as you can see, the existing house up the front, there's actually the brand new driveway is on our left-hand side and the old driveway is on the right. So the old driveway is going to be part of the 3 townhouses that come at the back. You can see they've just put the sewer lines and that sort of thing in, haven't quite laid slabs. When are the slabs going down?
First thing in the new year. So,
first thing in the new year.
Yeah, that's right. So the building permit is in progress.
It is proceeding.
It's proceeding. So the plan is first thing in the new year, get straight into it and hopefully no delays with material and things like that. Yeah. So I think we're over that now. So it should be a smooth process.
So there's been a couple of delays in getting that building approval.
Yeah.
And that's largely because the building boom happening, almost every single consultant is just under the pump, which has added about 2 months to your timelines?
Yeah, about that. Yeah, so it's not too bad, I guess. So we obviously needed to get our construction drawings done and structural engineering done. So it's a bit of a domino effect. Both of those things took a little bit longer than usual. And then, locking in my builder, who's my brother, and getting all that documentation ready just took a little bit longer than usual. But I guess it's also de-risked potential weather over the Christmas break. So if we had slabs down or the site cut and then if there was rain over Christmas.
You did touch on something that you kind of brushed over really quick. So builder as your brother. So whilst it's, I guess, a family relationship, there is separation between the 2 entities, but it does give you a competitive advantage, yes? So the ability to know with certainty that you can rely on the build actually happening on budget, on time, that sort of thing.
Yep.
Otherwise, the dinner table gets quite heated, I'm sure. So that competitive advantage means that I guess you can go into projects a little bit more aggressively than other people with a lot more certainty. So, if anyone wants to bank on Team Liana. Like she's got the whole lot going on in the background. How has that actually helped to serve you in a process like this?
Yeah, so I guess having a builder on hand that you have a really good relationship with is really helpful at the FISO stage, because, you know, you can run past the builder some numbers to confirm what your build costs are going to be. All building prices have gone up slightly, but, there was transparency around that at the time, so I could factor that in. And, so that's really key. And then also having that relationship and being able to confirm program and know it's going to happen when they say it's going to happen.
And also, I guess, architectural drawings coming back in, sanity checking the architectural drawings are not just pretty, but actually livable, functionable, and buildable and cost effective. And being able to have that, that three-way process between the architect, the builder, and the developer really, really early, because that family relationship is there. You can do that, I guess, with a little bit more integrity than, I guess, when there's an arm's length transaction. So great competitive advantage. So what's the timeline to completion?
So build time will hopefully be 9 months. So we're looking at, August, September next year. So that's the plan. And the intention is then to sell the existing house and hold on to 2 or 3 of the new units. So definitely hold on to 2 of them, because they'll be cash flow positive at the end.
So what's the projected profit, both in a profit on cost and also a cash amount?
Okay. Profit on cost is we're looking at 720 at the moment. That's 40% profit on cost. So
40%,
which is great.
Folks.
Great. And cash on cash, I'd have to check the numbers.
Okay. That's okay.
Yep.
So that's all right. You don't have to know off the top of your head. But we're talking 700 odd K and a 40% return, which is not a bad return. Now, most people know my magic formula of, if you can get a 20% return, then 6 will allow you to keep 1, right? So when you've got a 40% return, well, 40%, that should be able to, and only 4, that should be able to allow you to keep 2. So it'll be 2 owned pretty close to outright and positively geared. So that's not a bad way to, I guess, kick off a project. So a high five for that one.
Thank you.
Yes. So that goes into the bank towards the, the financial freedom goal. What are some, there was a couple of other challenges that we forgot to mention. So the slope actually is very, very slightly to the rear. So you had to do a little bit of creative things for your stormwater. You had a couple of options. What were the options that you had?
Yeah, that's it. Yep. So I'm a civil engineer by trade, but I sort of like to keep myself out of the design phase. So I've got another eye looking at it. So our civil engineer that we engaged, he came up with 2 options. So there was either a pumping station at the front of the block. So that means that basically the driveway contains a shared stormwater pipe for all 3 dwellings. That water then grades to the road and then gets pumped up and out into the curb and channel. That was one option. We actually allowed for that option in the FISO because that's the most expensive option. The other one that our engineer came up with was a gravity system, whereby we still have that common stormwater drain in the driveway, but then we go out into the road and connect to the existing council stormwater pit. So that would have involved construction of a new stormwater pit for council, and then a new pipe in the nature strip connecting to the existing pit. So we weighed up those options and got them quoted by my plumber, and found that the gravity system was the cheaper option.
So just for our viewers, in order to get the gravity system, we have to do a little bit of fill on the block just to lift it up to get gravity to work for us, because gravity only works in one direction. So that would be one option. The other option being the pump solution. That's one that a lot of people start to think about, but they don't always necessarily know the consequences. If you're doing a townhouse development, then you're going to have some sort of body corporate. So body corporate will be responsible for the maintenance of the pump, and there's going to be sinking funds that actually look after that ongoing. If you're doing a land subdivision, however, there's no body corporate. And so council tend to be okay with it in a townhouse development, but not so much in a land subdivision. So just know that as an option, folks. Yep. Any parting words of wisdom for anyone, I guess, wanting to kickstart their career, and give them an idea as to lessons that learnt or things to think about when they're going into a project?
Yeah, cool. All right. I guess I think the biggest one for me, having done a couple of projects now, is surrounding yourself with a really good team of experts that are great in their specific field. And what this does is it enables you to, get answers quickly, hopefully get things going a bit quicker, and you're getting that feedback from them to confirm that your thinking is right and you're on the right path. So yeah, having those people on call is really handy. Yeah,
absolutely. So folks, if you want to see, I guess, the full real deal, when Liana actually completes this, she'll be presenting this at one of our upcoming meetups. So stay tuned. And until then, thank you, Liana, for sharing your story. And I guess we'll see you all on the next Real Deal in the Field. Bye, folks.
Thanks.